Thanksgiving, a quintessential American holiday, is meant to be a time for reflection, family, and gratitude. It's a day when people come together to share a meal, give thanks for their blessings, and enjoy the warmth of community. However, for the last decade, former President Donald Trump has managed to transform this otherwise peaceful occasion into yet another stage for political theater, sowing division and hatred rather than spreading messages of hope or unity. Every Thanksgiving, like clockwork, Trump has used his social media platform not to offer a simple, heartfelt message of gratitude, but rather to launch vitriolic attacks at his political enemies and continue pushing a narrative of victimhood and divisiveness. In this video, we'll dissect this annual tradition, starting with its origins and how it's evolved over the years. We'll examine Trump's Thanksgiving posts in 2023, comparing them to previous years, and delve into the role of Trump's ally, J.D. Vance, in turning the holiday into a spectacle of mockery. This year's Thanksgiving messages exemplify the growing trend of political actors using national holidays as tools for divisive, combative rhetoric. We'll also explore the consequences of this behavior and how it reflects the broader state of American politics today. So, stay with us as we unpack this political spectacle, looking beyond the rhetoric to understand what it means for the future of American democracy. 1. The origins of Trump's Thanksgiving tradition, a disturbing pattern of division. It's important to understand that what might seem like an isolated incident in 2023 is actually part of a long-standing pattern that stretches back to at least 2013. Donald Trump's Thanksgiving tradition began with a now infamous tweet, "Happy Thanksgiving to all, even the haters and losers." This message was a direct shot at those who criticized him, a precursor to the many combative social media posts he would later make throughout his political career. From the very beginning, it was clear that Thanksgiving for Trump would not be a time for unity or compassion. Instead, it became an annual reminder that, for him, public holidays are merely opportunities to further his brand and deepen political divides. It's crucial to recognize that this was no accident. It was a deliberate move. Every message he posts is a calculated attempt to maintain his grip on power and to rally his base by painting a picture of a country under siege by political enemies. His approach to Thanksgiving, then, can be seen as an extension of his broader political strategy, using social media to craft a narrative that reinforces his supporters' beliefs, stokes their grievances, and demonizes anyone who opposes him. Whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, or Independence Day, Trump's messaging always seems to revolve around a few key themes: victimhood, division, and personal aggrandizement. 2. The 2023 Thanksgiving message, a peek into Trump's psychological profile. Fast forward to 2023, and Trump's Thanksgiving message took the same familiar shape, but this time, it felt even more disconnected from the holiday's traditional spirit. His message read, "Happy Thanksgiving to all, including the radical left lunatics who have worked so hard to destroy our country, but who have miserably failed and will always fail because their ideas and policies are so hopelessly bad that the great people of our nation just gave a landslide victory to those who want to make America great again." At first glance, it may seem like a standard Trump message, attacking his political opponents, inflating his own political victories, and boasting about his movement's power. But upon closer inspection, there are a few critical points worth exploring. A delusional landslide victory narrative. One of the most glaring elements of Trump's 2023 message is the reference to a landslide victory. Trump has repeatedly claimed that he won the 2020 presidential election in a landslide, despite evidence to the contrary. This false claim, which has been debunked by multiple sources, including the courts, election officials, and even some of his own supporters, still holds a place in his public discourse. The narrative of a stolen election remains central to his messaging strategy, even as the years have passed and the factual basis for this claim has evaporated. The mention of a landslide victory serves two purposes. It attempts to solidify his base's loyalty by presenting an alternate reality where Trump is perpetually victorious, and it fuels the narrative of victimhood. By positioning himself as the underdog, Trump can galvanize his supporters into action, creating a siege mentality that further alienates his opponents. B. Attacks on political opponents. The use of the term radical left lunatics is typical of Trump's divisive rhetoric. His portrayal of political opponents as enemies of the state has become a hallmark of his style. It's not enough for Trump to simply disagree with people across the aisle. He paints them as existential threats to the nation. This framing allows him to mobilize his supporters around the idea that they are fighting a righteous battle against those who seek to destroy the American way of life. By using inflammatory language, Trump is able to create a sense of urgency and fear, pushing his base to act and vote as if they are engaged in a war for the survival of their country. This language is dangerous because it dehumanizes opponents, turning them into caricatures of evil rather than people with whom there is political disagreement. 3. J.D. Vance's absurd Thanksgiving post, furthering the culture of mockery. But Trump wasn't the only one making waves this Thanksgiving. J.D. Vance, the U.S. Senator from Ohio and a vocal Trump supporter, decided to join the fray with his own bizarre Thanksgiving message. Vance posted a crude Photoshop image of Norman Rockwell's iconic Thanksgiving painting, replacing one of the figures with a portrayal of himself in drag, dressed as Melania Trump, serving turkey to a table of MAGA supporters. The image, intended to be humorous, was widely seen as a failed attempt at satire. Vance's depiction of himself as Trump's wife raised eyebrows, not just for its crude nature but also because it missed the mark in terms of cultural and political relevance. What was he trying to say? Was it supposed to be funny? Or was it just an attempt to appeal to the far-right fringe with a gimmick? A. The message behind the mockery. Vance's post wasn't just an isolated joke. It was part of a larger pattern of right-wing figures using humor and mockery to undermine political opponents. While humor can be a powerful tool for political commentary, the type of humor employed by Vance and others in Trump's orbit is often more about degradation than satire. Instead of elevating the discourse, this form of humor lowers it, turning serious political debates into circus-like spectacles. Vance's attempt to mock Melania Trump in this way was also a subtle reminder of the culture wars that dominate conservative politics. By depicting himself as the First Lady in such a demeaning way, Vance was signaling his loyalty to Trump while also playing to a base that relishes in the destruction of political norms and decorum. The drag element, though poorly executed, also serves as a commentary on the increasingly blurred lines between political theater and personal identity in the MAGA world. B. Understanding the image. A flawed political strategy. The problem with Vance's post, however, isn't just its bad taste or the fact that it missed the mark politically. It's that it underscores a growing trend in American politics where substance is secondary to spectacle. Political figures like Vance have begun to recognize that controversy, no matter how absurd, can generate attention. The constant quest for media coverage, especially on social media platforms, leads to an arms race of ever more outrageous stunts designed to rile up supporters and detract from any actual policy discussions. In a way, Vance's post is an embodiment of the broader state of American politics today, one in which the line between serious political discourse and entertainment is increasingly hard to draw. By mocking his political opponents and adopting the persona of Trump's wife, Vance is signaling that he's willing to sacrifice substance for the sake of grabbing attention and maintaining his place in Trump's orbit. 4. The true cost of Trump's division, the impact on American democracy. As we analyze these Thanksgiving messages, it's critical to reflect on the broader implications for American democracy. The political discourse in the United States has been eroding for years, and figures like Trump and Vance are accelerating this decline by intentionally stoking division. Holidays, traditionally seen as moments of unity, should be times when leaders rise above partisanship and offer messages of inclusivity and hope. Instead, we have leaders who use these moments to reassert their power through divisive rhetoric, further polarizing the electorate. The constant barrage of falsehoods, insults, and mockery creates a toxic environment where collaboration and mutual respect are increasingly difficult to achieve. This is not just about Trump or Vance. It's about the culture they've helped cultivate, one in which ideological purity is valued more than the health of the nation as a whole. The consequences of this ongoing division are profound. As more and more politicians follow Trump's lead, using social media to tear down their opponents rather than offer solutions, the political climate becomes more hostile and less conducive to meaningful progress. If the cycle of hatred and divisiveness continues, it's possible that the very foundations of American democracy